Okay.
Oh,
All right,
Anne
there
says
we
no
go.
audio.
Now,
Can
no,
you hear me?
now they can hear us. They should be
Okay.
able to hear us now. Testing. This is our last minute.
Testing.
I can look myself.
Hear me?
Now they can hear us. Yep. Just music. That's okay. That's because of the intro. Okay. Oh, boy. Okay. We're good now. We've made it. We are officially in business. I can now get Audacity good to go.
I don't know what the heck I did here, but my chat's all messed up.
Your chat? I'm seeing it good.
Yeah. I mean, I could type in it. It's just now like a separate window from where we were. It's fine. Whatever.
There's like a pop out button or something. You can undo that.
Yeah.
All right. Everybody, time to share all the stuff and get it all coming because we're about to begin.
Sharing is caring.
I'm in my incomplete room, and that's all right. I don't even have any lights up yet or anything. So, wait, maybe I can turn on a light in my bathroom for better lighting. That's a little bit better. I think I'll look slightly better with that light on. Let's see. I'm going to see myself turn the light on.
Yeah, it looks better.
Yeah, that's all right. All right.
Yes.
I can't wait to see the wall when you get that. Yeah, I know. It's going to be great. I'm excited for that too.
Did you pick a color, gray or red?
Most people voted gray. I will say that much.
I voted gray.
Voted gray. Yeah, most people have voted gray, so that might be where I go in that. And I think it makes more sense with the white walls.
Mm-hmm.
I think it just would work better aesthetically. So I think that's where I'm going with is the white. All right.
I could agree with that.
I have no. Let's get my notes. Let me get the articles open that I had because I looked it up.
Yeah, I have them on my phone, so I'm just gonna be going back and forth.
Yep.
What a time, folks! What a time to be alive in America.
Just want to have everything ready to go. Do you want to do intro or not? It's up to you.
You know something? I should have written something down, and I totally didn't.
I mean,
Let me.
blah blah blah.
Let me
Okay.
see. I don't even want to know. I don't even know what my opener would be real quick. Damn. Damn. I guess I could. I don't know. Can I do something?
I mean, do you want me to send you what you say, like the?
No,
outline?
I have that part. I just don't know what to say because how am I gonna grab the topic real quick? 1, 2, 3.
We can just skip it and then just talk about it after. That's all right.
All right, fair enough.
Go skip the topic and skip the first part that says topic and just jump into the date and all that. That's all right.
For sure.
Not a big deal.
For sure. We could change it up.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as as soon as we're done, we'll just jump right in and say, hey, there's this thing happening.
Right? Got you.
I've been reading a lot about it. I have a video up for it. And we should be good to go. All right, let's do it.
3, 2, 1, let's go.
Yep, 3, 2, 1, let's go. And then I'll just... I don't have my notes per se written down, but it's all right. I'll ask
some form of information will be with us.
Okay. We are going hot in 3, 2, 1, and
People like to get worked up about things, and that's just not our style. So, to save you guys a call to the authorities, take a listen to this. The opinions and ideas you hear are those of the hosts, their guests, and their callers, and not those of the companies, sponsors, or advertisers for this podcast. And with that said, enjoy the show.
Welcome to IceT and the Hippogriff. Today is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. It is 7:13 p.m. and the sun is setting on yet another beautiful day here in Florida. My name is Victoria Sorrentino, aka Do the Hippogriff, and as always, my wonderful co-host Jesse Harriton, aka IceT Kirby, is here with me.
Wait.
It's always a pleasure.
We are going to do it again?
It's always a pleasure to be here, guys.
Wait, hold on. I am totally going to do that again because the volume was down for the music.
Okay.
Welcome to
Show
Behind
business.
the Scenes, everybody.
Show business, everybody.
Do
I like
one
it.
more time. Here, hold on. Let me make sure. Something sounded weird. I was looking at all my... I was looking at all of the settings and everything. I was like, why is the music so quiet? And then I realized, all right, here we go. Ready? Going live.
3, 2, 1. Let's
In
go.
3,
Oh.
2, 1, and we are...
People like to get worked up about things, and that's just not our style. So, to save you guys a call to the authorities, take a listen to this. The opinions and ideas you hear are those of the hosts, their guests, and their callers, and not those of the companies, sponsors, or advertisers for this podcast. And with that said, enjoy the show.
Welcome to IceT and the Hippogriff. Today is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020, and it is 7:15 p.m. as the sun is setting on another beautiful Florida day. My name is Victoria Sorrentino, aka Do the Hippogriff, and as always, my wonderful co-host Jesse Harriton, aka IceT Kirby, is here with me.
Hello.
Such a nice hello. Always a pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you guys so much. You can get your recordings live every Thursday around 7 p.m. on YouTube now. Really, it's a different saying that out loud, but yes, every Thursday night on YouTube. You can search us up, IceT and the Hippogriff, where you can catch our recordings live. Audio episodes will be released the following Tuesday on Anchor.fm and various podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Play Music, and many, many more. You can call in, you can text, you can leave a voicemail, you can let me know what you ate for lunch or how your day is going by calling or texting 802-432-8358 to have a chance to be featured on our show. Best show out there, guys. 802-432-8358. Keep in mind, messaging and data rates do apply, so check with your carrier before checking in with us.
Yep.
Also, it's important. Finally, I encourage you to please follow, like, listen, share, tell everybody, create your own business cards if you must, about us. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook, we're on our own social media platforms, but it helps us make better content for you. So please follow, like, listen, and share. Jesse, how you doing over there, buddy? First week back at school. How's it been?
Well, actually, I'm in week number 4, but
Oh, wow.
yeah, I started August 10th, but this is my first week living in the new apartment, so that's That's what's exciting for me right now is living in this new apartment and setting everything up and making sure everything is the way. You should see my computer. Oh, you already saw it. You saw the picture I posted. And everyone on the IceT and the Hippogriff Instagram, I posted a picture of my setup right now. It is literally a bunch of boxes, and my keyboard and my monitor are sitting on top of boxes. My camera is on a stool, so I am kind of just in my emergency setup mode for now until I get a new desk. I threw away my old desk because I hate it. It is bad, and no one should have to use a desk like the one that I was using. So there's that. But other than that, it's school's been interesting. I know we had an episode of talking about school and how I don't think we should really be teaching right now in person just yet. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Okay, I will admit that it is. The kids are doing a fantastic job. Social distancing and wearing masks, but then there still are kindergartners who take the mask off. There's been kindergartners who walk up to me and say, "Mr. Harrington, I need something," and they tap me on my leg or whatever, and here I am. Yeah. So, it's what I expected it to be. Thank goodness that the older kids kind of get it. It's more so the first graders and kindergartners that are scary. But anyway.
That was to be expected.
Yes. How's it going with you? Anything new before we get into this thing going on here?
I wouldn't say there's too many new things going on. I've been studying a lot more recently for a personal training exam that I have coming up at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been really diving into, fitness and stretching and, just the, the anatomy and physiology of the human body. So, I guess what I've really been up to is just becoming more familiar with myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. I'm just making some proactive plans of what to do, getting ready for the test and what's to come after the test. Like what type of a business I would want to have or where I'd want to work. So, just keep a lookout, watch out for my Instagram, watch my Twitter. There might be a new Instagram and a new Twitter that come out because of this, but
okay.
I would say, every day's a great day.
That's good. All right. Well,
Thank you.
Last week, and by the way, guys, the reason why we had a bye week was because I was moving and I had all this stuff I had to move, and I would have had to take apart too many things too quickly, and so we just called a week off just for that. And now we're back. We're back to our original selves, except we are on YouTube now, which is kind of fun. So, but we're here.
I'm enjoying it.
Victoria brought this up to me on Facebook. She messaged an article to me. And this was definitely worth a conversation. I looked into it myself over the week, and basically what's going on. And Victoria, if you want to, redirect me if I'm saying this wrong, but I'm pretty sure what's going on here is a principal of a charter school in South Florida, and there's a few articles on it right now. It's Pembroke Pines. It's a Pembroke Pines High School, a charter school. Okay. And the principal recently apologized for posing with some Blue Lives Matter flags, and he is praising Black Lives Matter. So he's claiming to be on this Black Lives Matter side, but it's like one of those things where like not a celebrity, but a person took a picture doing something that that at the time might have not been bad or looked down on, but then as current times start to come, as the time moves on and people things change and certain outlooks change on certain things, it starts to look not as good, if that makes sense. And it's so I read through the article and I read a lot about what this principal's going through and how he's thinking and what he said, and the gist of it for me personally is I feel like this principal's in between a rock and a hard place. He took a picture because the picture was celebrating a first responders day. Okay, so this was an innocent, in my opinion, I see this as an innocent, call for people, emergency responders. They were trying to celebrate them. So that included firefighters apparently. So it wasn't just police. It was police and firefighters, first responders to, for all that kind of stuff. They were trying to recognize them and pay tribute to them. And it says, what bothers me the most is that it says this picture was taken several years ago. I'd like to know how many years, because at first glance, I mean, even for me, first glance, if a school is celebrating firefighters and police officers for being emergency responders and doing what they're supposed to do, yeah, I mean, I personally don't think that's at that, especially if it's several years ago, that wouldn't be something I would wince at.
It's
Right?
not something to be wincing at.
Right. It's not something to wince at for me. But at the principal at the time was not, and like even at the time, like I don't know how long, to be honest, I don't know how long this the flag, the Blue Lives Matter flag or whatever you want to call it, the police flag, where it's like the American flag with the blue stripe. I don't know how long that's been around. I feel like it's been around more recently than not. Like I feel like if I think several years ago, if I think like if I'm at UCF or maybe even like 2010, like around that time, I don't recall seeing that police flag often. It wasn't something I saw like very often. Was it around? Probably. But nowadays, now that all this stuff is happening regarding police brutality, and it's like you can tell that people have taken their side on it, and with that comes the representation of it, right? So like, I'm suddenly like, police are under fire. I'm a police officer kind of guy, and I support them, and I'm going to show my support by buying this flag and waving it, right? Like, I feel like the times have caused more, what's the word I'm trying to say? It's like, because of what's happening and the relevance of it has caused people to be more expressive about it, right? So at the time in this picture, the principal was not aware of the negative impact or the negative connotation that came with that flag, and especially today. And I feel like that's why this article kind of rose up out of the social media garbage dump, essentially, the past, because of what's happening today.
Right. It looks like because it looks like a student. I read an article. The former, because it's now former, the now former student that apparently is like kicking the dust about this is in that picture. So it's somebody in that picture that was also standing with the Blue Lives Matter in the background is now coming out saying that Mr. Bayer trivializes the Black Lives Matter movement, which is it's preposterous. It is absolutely preposterous. The charter school, Mr. Bayer has been the most upstanding principal that I have ever known. Like I have personally known Mr. Bayer for over 12 years, and he has never done or said anything that would imply that he takes that type of a position. The charter schools are there. The charter schools are there for a reason. They're not funded by the city. They're funded on their own, and it's for particular demographics of people. If you just take a look at the demographics of students at the Pembroke Pines Charter High School, there's every race, every background, every color, every ethnicity is pretty much covered there. The school welcomes diversity. It's a melting pot of diversity. With the amount of people that I had the opportunity to get to know in that program, people I would have never met if I had just stayed in a regular old public school. The education I got because I was in a charter school, the protection I got
Mm-hmm.
from being in a charter school is because of educators like Mr. Bayer. My big issue with this is every single time the school was on lockdown and we had to call the police for the police to make sure everything was cool,
Mm-hmm.
nobody had a problem with that.
Right.
Anytime the police were called to break up a fight on campus, whether it was two guys or two girls or a group of guys and a group of girls, nobody said anything about it. Nobody got upset when we had to call the police if there were drugs on campus. Nobody got upset if the police were called for absolutely anything.
Right.
So, what does this picture have to do with anything? The Pembroke Pines Police Department did not do anything to any particular group of people. you know, and we're not even like topping the head of the iceberg here, you know, like I have a lot of experiences with Mr. Bayer. Mr. Bayer, just because he supports the police does not mean he doesn't support the Black Lives Matter movement, or that he doesn't support other other minorities that are facing adversity right now.
This,
So
yeah.
what's going on here? I
So
want to that's really the reason I wanted to talk about this. Like, what is going on here? You
so
know, it would be different, really, truly, if Mr. Bayer did things that would make, you know, people of different races feel left out. But like, I went on their variety of Instagram pages. I've scrolled through the variety of hashtags that they have. Mr. Bayer is with every type of student. You should see him at the 2008 reunion, the class of '08 reunion.
mhm.
Like, he is in there with those kids.
So
Like,
I'm gonna kind of reiterate what I said before regarding with what's in my opinion. Again, this is from, you know, this is new to me. I mean, this is not a story. I'm not familiar with that charter school, or, you know, but what it seems to me, and I looked up another article. The picture was posted last year, so the picture was taken several years ago, right? So several years ago, this is a picture that was taken at the school. And like you said, the student that was in the picture is now a not student, right? They've already graduated. So
they're alumni. I
so
mean,
this
look,
is-
I mean, we're gonna keep going.
so
Just keep
how
going.
I see this is, as again, this is a times, this is like an image that was posted probably at the worst time in terms of the social climate right now, right? Like again, and like I'll agree with you. Like again, if we had us years ago, if we had a first responders day where we celebrate police and excuse me, firefighters and whatnot for being, you know, quote unquote the heroes of the community, right? You know, years ago, you know, a few years ago, I would have been like, yeah, that's a nice thing to do, because, you know, they're supposed to help people and save people, and obviously there's been some mud thrown on that, you know, with all the police brutality and Black Lives Matter and all that going on, and I understand that. Like I see both sides. So a few years ago, or several years ago, according to him, you know, I could see this as being like a very cool, like, you know, a nice thing to do at your school, to have you know, recognition. But because it was posted last year, because of the Stoneman Douglas massacre, to recognize it, right? Or to you know, according to the article anyway, it was posted because of that, because of the Stoneman Douglas thing. You know, let's pay respects to the police, even though, I mean, I can go off a tangent right there and say, like, well, the police officer on campus at Marjorie and Stoneman Douglas didn't even run inside; he was standing outside for it. But anyway, whatever. Point is, they were doing it.
Do you see what's going on here, Jesse? Like, we're having like a huge identity crisis, you know, and you're saying it yourself here. Like, oh, a few years ago this would have been okay. A few years ago is almost nothing. Like, for some people, a few years ago is 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we really need to kind of like stop walking on eggshells about who we support and why we support them. Not all police officers are bad. Not all Black people are bad. Not all white people are bad. Not all Asian people are bad. Not people who are orange skin, jaundice, whatever. They're not bad people.
No, I agree.
You know, they
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
job to do. So
But
we need to, you know, for all intensive purposes here, you know, a few years ago that would have been okay. No,
yeah,
no. It
yeah.
is okay. It
So
was okay then, and it is okay now to support the police. It is okay then, and it is okay now to not support the police. It is okay to feel however you want. That's your God-given right in this country. But what's not okay, and the controversy that's coming from this picture, is the fact that somebody supports an organization, and because somebody else wants to say that because this person supports this organization, that automatically means that they stand on a certain side towards an issue, which
right.
not only creates chaos and controversy that's unnecessary, but look at what you're doing to this man's life. He's about to get fired from his job, okay? And that's like his career. Like, he has been the principal of Pembroke Pines Charter High School since it opened in 2000. Okay, like, he has had the prestigious honor of seeing thousands of people go in and out of those doors. He has gotten thousands of people across the stage of graduation. You know, he's gotten good kids, bad kids in and out of that school. If
Mhm.
somebody needed something, Mr. Bayer was there taking care of it, because that's what a principal does. Okay, this man's entire legacy is about to be smudged upon because somebody wants to say that this is what Mr. Bayer feels. And that's not the truth. You're not Mr. Bayer. You don't know how Mr. Bayer feels. You don't interact with Mr. Bayer. So why does Mr. Bayer standing with the police have to do with him trivializing how he feels? Now, I want you to think about in the future, every time we say something that someone doesn't like, are we going to have to apologize for it? Every time we do something or wear something that somebody doesn't like, are we going to have to bend over and cater to that person because we made them feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, it's just I just feel for the principal himself, because it was a bad for me. I see this as a bad. It was just bad timing. You know, he was doing something, you know, out of the kindness of his heart, and to have students, you know, experience or recognize these people at the time again. And like, you're right, the time shouldn't matter. I mean, I do have some personal feelings of like, yeah, like there are things being exposed now that were not being exposed when this picture was taken. You know what I'm saying? Like if we took today's exposure of police brutality and of the power of authority, and if we kind of copy pasted it back into 2000 whenever this picture was taken, it's like, yeah, you would probably have the same problem right now, right? Like it's just a matter of, at that time, it wasn't something that people, unfortunately, were thinking about. Now, am I on his side? Yeah, I'm on the principal's side, because guess what? He's, like I said, he's between a rock and a hard place. He sent out an apology, and I'm going to read the apology verbatim. And then I'm going to tell you why he's between a rock and a hard place, in my opinion. And I'm pretty sure you'll agree with me. But he wrote, and this was his Instagram post that he posted after people started criticizing him for the flag in the background. He says, quote, "Several years ago at Pompano, Pembroke Pines Charter High School, we hosted a First Responders Appreciation Day for the men and women in Pembroke Pines that work in the field of police, fire, and healthcare. A photo was taken that day at the fountain, which I am in, along with a number of honorees, and includes 2 flags in the background that were put up by (parentheses now former) students. One of these flags is associated with the efforts to trivialize the Black Lives Matter movement." And he's even acknowledging, like, at this time,
Look
right
at this.
now, this flag that was at the time probably not
What does
as
that have to do with the Black Lives Matter movement? What does an American flag with a blue stripe
because
have to do with
well,
trivializing the Black Lives Matter movement? Is there anything on there that says?
well, that's the thing but it makes sense, right? People are going to see this flag that obviously supports police, quote unquote blue lives, right? And it's
See, Jesse, you can't even come up with an answer that says what in that picture definitively says is the problem.
Well, right now,
and the bigger problem in that picture is everybody in that picture is white. Okay, it doesn't matter if you identify as brown or Latino or Hispanic. Everybody in that picture is white. What are you complaining about? What is your problem?
Well, not me, but I am going to say,
your opinion. It is your opinion that you feel that Mr. Bayer is trivializing the Black Lives Matter movement, and if that is how you feel,
well, they're
bring
associating
your issue
him
to him.
No, I'm agreeing with. I see what you're saying, but you have to see, like, in this certain climate, in this social climate where we do have police brutality being exposed, and people have chosen a side, like I mentioned before. It's pretty much that, right? People have basically chosen a side. You're either a Black Lives Matter supporter or you're a Blue Lives Matter supporter. And, I mean, is that correct? Should that be the lens which we look through? No. Because guess what? I'm a huge Black Lives Matter supporter, right? Like, I support that's a community that I want to be helping and be a part of and make sure that it does become, like, I hope everyone gets justice. But at the same time, I'm not going to spit. I'm sorry. Like, I mean, I'm not going to spit in a cop's face just because I don't like cops. Like, I'm not.
No.
I'm sorry. Now, will I defend someone in the black community over a police officer who's being possibly accused of brutality? Of course I am, 1,000%. But I'm trying to walk on the fence, right? I'm trying to be. I am trying to be not neutral, but I want to be. I understand. I'm trying to see both sides, right? And like I said, and I'm going to finish reading this quote. Is the principal himself trivializing the Black Lives Matter movement because he's in the photo? Ooh, excuse me. Because he's in. Oh my God. Because he's in the photo? No. And that wasn't what he was trying to do. And that's why he's defending himself. And I don't blame him. He wasn't trying to trivialize the movement. In fact, why would he be trying to? The picture was taken several years ago. He doesn't know the future. He didn't know that all this was going to happen. He was simply doing it out of an idea to support first responders at that time. And that's perfectly okay, right? So the thing is that now that the flag itself is seen as a Blue Lives Matter icon or a symbol, right? Because, like, okay, fine, you have a flag that supports police officers, fine. But now the police officers are being exposed for some pretty bad stuff. You see what I'm saying? It's like, here's an example. It's like Pablo brings one of my friends, Pablo, my roommate Pablo, the swastika back in the day, thousands of years ago, was not the symbol of the Nazis. It was actually a symbol that meant, I believe, like either peace or prosperity. It was actually not a bad, quote unquote, a bad thing, right? But now the Nazis came through with their happy asses, and they took that symbol and they use it as their icon, as their way to show, like, this is who we are. And that symbol became tarnished, right? Because of what they did. And now when people see a swastika, people are going, well, that's a fucking Nazi symbol. That's horrible, right? That's kind of what I see what's happening with this Blue Lives Matter flag, right? The flag was originally just made to say we support police officers because they are supposed to be the heroes of the community who protect and serve, whatever you want to, right? But now that there's exposure on them, we're starting to see some things that are not okay that are happening with police officers, quote unquote, and I'm saying against the black community or in association with the black community, right? Now this flag has a negative connotation with it. You see what I'm saying now? Like, it's not this
though. I'm not trying to this has always been happening. This has been happening for a very long time. I've got a friend who will pretty much tell you the root job, the police, the very foundation of police, are people that were on the horses all day long, trotting the fields and whipping the slaves in the fields, and they'll tell you that's how the profession of law enforcement got started. But that doesn't, from where it started to what it has evolved to, some will argue that a lot has not changed. Some will argue that some has changed. And I can agree with you. There's a lot of messed up things that are going on, a lot of messed up things. And it's really ridiculous that in 2020, with the amount of people we have out there, the good things that we could be doing, this is what we're still talking about.
Let me clarify one thing. I'm reading the chat right now, and Blue Lives, they're mentioning in the chat, and I know we're a little bit behind on this because I haven't had it up the whole time. The label of Blue Lives Matter versus Black Lives Matter, I do understand that. The Blue Lives Matter being an occupation, Black lives actually being humanity. That's not kind of where I was coming from. I was coming from more of the symbolism of the flag itself, because the flag itself, I'm pretty sure, isn't literally the Blue Lives Matter flag. It wasn't created to be the Blue Lives Matter flag. It was created as a flag to represent police officers, right? Not necessarily, this is the flag for Blue Lives Matter. This is where I come again. This is where, like, the Nazis took the swastika and made it their symbol. The people who are, super gung-ho about police officers and all that have taken this flag with the blue line in it to become their quote-unquote symbol. And that's where the negative connotation comes in for a lot of people, because now there's people who are saying Blue Lives Matter too. It's like, okay, I get it. Blue lives are not a thing, right? They're not. It's literally a skin color versus a color of clothing, right? That's what Blue Lives is referring to, right? But again, this is why I feel bad for this principal. And I'm gonna finish. I know it's been a while since I was gonna finish this quote. He's been between a rock and a hard place because now that he's taken down this picture, he sent out his apologies. And let me finish real quick. Quote, this is the second half of his apology. I offer my sincere apologies for not being more aware of the racial and hurtful implications of the symbol at the time. See, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't blame him. Because at the time, several years ago, I didn't see that Blue Lives, the quote-unquote Blue Lives Matter flag, which... You know, I feel like Blue Lives Matter is a thing more so now than then, right?
But what did he have to apologize for?
Okay, but hold on. Before you ask.
This is where it continues to become a frustrating topic.
Right. But I'm just saying, at the time, he's apologizing to kids. At the time, he didn't realize that. And I'll be honest, I didn't realize it was a thing either. It's a thing now. And it's clear as day that it's a thing now and that people have a problem with it. But at the time, it was just, to me, it was just like, oh, this is a flag that's supporting police officers. Just like there's a flag supporting...
So are you saying that Mr. Bayer shouldn't have done that? Mr. Bayer should have just been like, dang, before I stop and take a picture with, you know, the law enforcement and first responders who I'm probably responsible for making sure their child's education is taken care of, before I go and take a picture with them, let me do my research to make sure I don't offend anybody.
No, if that flag was made several years ago, like, I know Black Lives Matter has been around a long time, but the current exposure of police brutality, right, is not nearly on the same level of what it is today, right? That we can agree with. Like, it wasn't in the media as much. Like today, it's like a thing, and that's why there's rioting and stuff, right? But that flag, I'm seeing in the chat that some people are mentioning that it was created specifically to counter Blue Lives Matter, or Black Lives Matter, excuse me. It was specifically designed to counter that. See, if that's true, I don't know if that's true because I would have to research that myself. If that's true, then it changes the whole game, right? But I still don't blame this police officer or this principal, right? I keep on not finishing his quote. I apologize for not being more aware of the racial and hurtful implications of the symbol at the time. I thank those that had the courage to bring this egregious oversight to my attention today. Pembroke Pines Charter High School is an institution of lifelong learners that goes for all of us, not just the students. Excuse me. Sorry, the Truly's coming up. Black Lives Matter. And he ends it with Black Lives Matter in full capitals. Yeah, this guy, obviously, and he was unaware of it. And I don't blame him because at the time, several years ago, if this was 2012, Jesse in college, I would have no idea that the current flag for supporting police officers with the blue line, if it was designed to specifically counter the Black Lives Matter movement or the Black Lives Matter organization, then of course I would be like, all right, wait, hold up a second, right? I would freeze and say like, all right, well, if this is made to deter Black Lives Matter, then yeah, I'm not sure if I'm about it. But at the time, and you know, I'm pretty sure that flag was designed to be just we support police officers. Just like if you were to have a flag that said we support post office, the United States Postal Service, or we have a bumper sticker that says, you know, I support veterans. It's like, that's how I saw it. And there's nothing wrong with having a flag that supports veterans, or you know what I'm saying? But if it's
right.
I see it as more of I'm pretty sure, and I'll research it myself, and I'll do my homework tonight if I have to, or over the week for next time. I'm willing to bet that flag was not designed specifically to counter Black Lives Matter. I don't think it was. I think it was just a flag that it's like, we support these guys. Because like they also have one for the fire department with the red line.
They have one for every profession.
So it's like,
I support firefighters. I support EMTs.
And
I
if
support teachers.
maybe the
I
chat,
support strippers. I support stay-at-home moms.
Maybe the chat maybe some of the chat can help us with that if you guys don't mind. If you guys want to look up an article or some information, and we'll try to read it on the air. But yeah, if it was designed for that reason, then obviously like this changes the whole ball game. But I still don't blame the principal himself. I don't blame the principal himself for using it as a way to just honor, if it's just like, oh, we're supporting police officers. Do you see what I'm saying? Because like even now, I don't even know if the flag was designed specifically for that. If I find out, I would also apologize. I would say, oh, I'm so sorry.
It doesn't matter.
I think
what matters is
I think
Mr. Bayer's
it does.
character.
Well,
Mr. Bayer's character is he lets these kids come to school every single day. He ensures their safety from 7 o'clock in the morning till about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. He gets them in and out of school. That is Mr. Bayer's job. It does not matter how Mr. Bayer feels behind closed doors. What matters is his character and how he is an exemplary member of the community. Okay. 80% of the kids that are in that school are on free and reduced lunches. Okay. Now let's go take a look at the demographic of kids that are in that school and the fact that it saves their already struggling families a lot of money that they don't have to pay for that food there. Okay. And just the very concept of what a charter school is. Okay, it's a private school because we wear uniforms and there's a lottery system to get in. Okay, so that just ensures that there's that much extra safety for your kid in that school. No matter where you're coming from, what your story is, Mr. Bayer's job is to take care of your kid and ensure that they get the best education possible. Who cares? Who cares what his position is on anything behind closed doors? What matters is his character.
Well,
Okay, it does not matter if 5 years ago that meant nothing and 5 years forward it means something. That's not Mr. Bayer's problem. Mr. Bayer is literally doing his job by just taking the picture with these first responders and encouraging this with his students. Okay, like I really want to think about the forward here in the future. Like what if you wear a shirt, Jesse, that somebody doesn't like the connotation behind the shirt and you posted a picture? Are you going to take the picture down? Or are you going to throw the shirt away? Like,
I mean,
are we going to
that kind of
continue?
depends.
Are we going to continue bending to people's wills for that? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, why does this matter so much?
Well, the thing is this again, I'm on the principal side because I know for a fact that this man was not aware, and that's fine. There's people who make mistakes. There's people who don't know. I didn't even know. Again, if this is Jesse from 2012 and I saw the flag with the blue line through it, I wouldn't think of a flag. I did not know. I would not have guessed that flag was, if it was specifically designed to counter Black Lives Matter. Right? If that was the case, if I had known that flag specifically counters Black Lives Matter, I would not be okay with it. Because just like, and like, this is just my opinion, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, and I feel bad. This is the reason why I feel bad for the principal is because one, he was not aware, and that's okay. People make the mistake of not being aware. That's fine. That's just an error. There's a lot of things I haven't been aware of that I've learned, and that's fine. But now we have the second half of this whole thing, where Principal Bear has taken down the flag or the picture regarding, and this is what he's met with. Okay, and this is why
no choice. With absolutely no choice.
Okay, this is what I'm met with. Principal, this is a letter coming from a police officer in his county or in his area. Principal, I'm going to read this. Don't let me stop this time. Okay.
Go,
Principal
friend,
Bear,
go.
I was incredibly disheartened to read your Instagram post regarding our men and women in blue. I, sir, retired from the Pembroke Pines Police Department, and I am utterly disgusted with your post. The Pembroke that's hard to say. The PPPD, I'm going to say that instead. Your police department, a group full of men and women who can run as fast as they can into fatal danger for people they have never met, especially the children you are paid and entrusted to keep over. Your police department, men and women who walk through your school mentoring children of every color and background, never once thinking of where they come from or what they look like. Your police department, who even as you spit on them with your post, will still drop everything and risk their life for you without hesitation. I would expect a person of your education to have researched what that flag and meaning represents before you trashed it. I'll help you out from the first thing that pops up on a simple Google search. The description: the thin blue line is a term for the police that is used to assert what they are that they are on the line, which keeps society from descending into violent chaos. You apologize for backing the police. You should apologize for being a disgrace to our school system. I hope that your idiotic posts goes viral. I will do all I can to help you with that, in parentheses. And parents, call your city leadership and demand your termination. Pushing your political agenda at the price of some of the finest and bravest men and women that I've had the honor to work with is nothing less than disgusting and despicable. Hopefully you'll never need the thin blue line to help you in a dire situation. You don't deserve them. And that was Sergeant Jim Gort from the PPPD, who retired. Okay, this principal it sucks because this is someone who was unaware. Okay, this is someone who did not know the meaning behind that flag. And obviously there's two different meanings here, right? There's the people who know the meaning that police officer described, and then there's the people who know the meaning of why it was created or how it was created and all that stuff, right? So this is where it's really shitty for this guy, because he's, like I said, he's in between a rock and a hard place. He has people calling him out for being in the picture, and now he has police officers calling him out for taking it down and criticize. And now he's losing his job for you know what I mean? It's like, well, now they want to terminate him.
Legacy.
They want to terminate this guy because he took the picture down. Meanwhile, according to the article, you have students petitioning to keep him in his position. Students
Absolutely.
from the school, and it's like, at
Jesse,
least
listen,
Yeah.
Jesse,
Uh-huh.
listen. Okay, the man is amazing at what he does. He has never excluded anybody. He's never done or demoralized anybody for any reason whatsoever. Okay. We have a high school of 1,700 students. And not only is it 1,700 high school students, he welcomed 300 middle schoolers onto the campus so that they could have a school to go to. Okay. So not only is this man a principal of one school, he's the principal of two schools. Okay. He has gotten some of the just nastiest kids out of the worst possible place and brought them into a better place. Okay. The man has done absolutely nothing wrong. Okay. And the fact that he was just so willing to do something, thinking that it was going to make the situation better, it flipped on him. Okay. Yes, it sucks. It absolutely sucks that we are learning there are more racist police officers out there than the ones that actually are there to help you. But the reality of it is, Jesse, there's no real crime going on here in Pembroke Pines. Okay. For every 2 miles that I drive by myself, I see at least 5 or 6 police cars patrolling the area. That place is so safe. The police department here in this city are willing to do anything and everything to keep this place clean and free of crime. That's not racist. That's not a problem. Okay. He has done more than an amazing job as a principal, as a community leader, as a feeder. So we're now just going to discount everything this man has ever done because of something he did a few years ago, because he's not a psychic and couldn't know of what implications were going to come later. And it really sucks because you have to be on one side or you have to be on the other side. Obviously, I respect everybody. I respect everybody's life, no matter what your color, disability, whatever.
Okay, so let me play not devil's advocate, but let me ask you a question then. You sound like you highly respect the Pembroke Pines Police Department.
I know people on the Pembroke Pines Police Department, Jesse. I went to high school with some of these people. Like, this is my alma mater.
And that's fine.
I can't believe more people are not upset about this.
Okay, but here we are reading the article, and a Pembroke Pines Police Department retiree is the one calling for his removal from his position. Why is that? You don't support that, right? You want him to keep his position. So who's out of line here?
Job, of course.
So right now, this retired police officer who wants him to be fired is the one out of line. The question is, so what's up with that? That's where I
He's
start to
telling
question. I'm like, okay, like
he told Mr. Bear, be a man. He said, Mr. Bear, what the hell is wrong with you? Just because this is how somebody else feels, you're gonna be a little pussy and do
well,
that?
okay, well, that's what I'm gonna have to disagree with that. He is a principal. There's a hot spotlight right now on police brutality, on Black lives, on the injustices of the community, and it just happens to the other side of that coin happens to be police, right? There's the Black lives community and police, right? That's just how it is right now. Am I saying that
Totally get that.
is it a black and white line? I don't think so, but that's what it is. So he does have to be aware, and he does have to apologize, and I'm pretty sure he meant it. I'm not saying he apologized because he thought that was like gonna save him, or like that's, you know what I'm saying? I don't think he was doing that because of the pressure. I think he apologized because he sincerely didn't know what that flag was representing at this time, right? He was not a psychic. He doesn't know the future. When he took that picture, he wasn't thinking about that. So that's why I'm on his side. I'm on the principal side. However, I will say that there is a retired police department officer from his county who is calling him out for his removal from his position because he took the flag down to be sensitive to the current situation right now, right? So that's where it's for me. It's like, okay, well, this guy's getting the hot seat, in my opinion, not for a good reason. Now, students, whoever brought it up to his attention that the flag was a little bit possibly offensive right at the moment, fine. He took it down and apologized. And as you said, the students support him. They said that we don't want you to get fired. We just wanted to teach you something about what's happening right now, or what this flag meant at the time. And he didn't know, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with not knowing. Learning something is okay. You see what I'm saying, though? So that's where this becomes, you either choose a side or you choose to be reasonable. In my opinion, you choose reason, and you say, well, he didn't mean to insult anyone. He didn't mean to offend anybody. He took the flag down and apologized because of it. Now, again, should he have to? I don't know. That's in the context of today. I would do it too. I would say, yeah, I'm going to take this down, and so I don't hurt anyone. The police officer that got hurt by it, who's retired. Okay, I mean, obviously he's retired. He's probably old, so he probably takes it a lot more personally. Maybe, I mean, I could just be bullshitting about when I say that, but it's like I think the police officer who's upset and is trying to get him fired for taking down that photo is way more out of line than the principal was in any of this situation. Does that make sense? I think the police, and I'm not saying the department is wrong. Like, the department could be fine, okay? But I don't think that police officer who's retired, who's calling out for this guy's his resignation, I think that's more out of line than anything. Just
Mr.
in
Bear
my
should
opinion.
not have had to apologize for doing his job. He really shouldn't have. Prince Harry, I remember as a child, like in 2000, somewhere between 2000 and 2003, when Prince Harry had like just turned 18. I'll never forget it because he was just delicious, a delicious looking carrot.
Oh my God.
And for Halloween, for his 18th or 19th birthday, or 18th or 19th Halloween, he dressed up as a Nazi.
Yeah, see, like, that's not okay.
Obviously,
Right.
obviously, because it's way after the fact, and we obviously know what's going on. The picture went down. Like, he obviously had a reason to apologize.
Right.
Mr. Bear, again, doing his job, which is the job you assume as a principal. You do take these photographs with students, you do take these photographs with other adults, and you're almost kind of like, when you do that, you're forced to take a position because a group of people don't like your position on that. You need to think about the other implications of that. You're now sort of telling kids, it may not be so cool to be a police officer. It may not be a rewarding career to be a first responder because of all the scrutiny they face. You know,
I don't know.
teachers have been getting scrutinized for years about how they're educating their children.
I don't know
Other
that's.
fields are being scrutinized for whatever.
But I
But
don't think that's the case. I don't think
Mr. Bayer should not have had to say. If Mr. Bayer wanted to apologize, great. That's him. Good job for
I think he
apologizing that
did.
you made someone unhappy.
I
But the fact that you're just taking the post down, you're doing it to appease people. You're not doing it because you want to do it, which is at that point you're letting somebody take your freedom away.
But that's the thing is
These are your constitutional rights that millions of people have died for you to have the opportunity to post whatever you want with no problem. Okay, if Mr. Bayer sincerely felt like, you know, the Black Lives Matter movement didn't matter, do you sincerely believe that this school would have the demographics that it has? And that's been my problem, and that's where I stand. Like, that's great. Good job, Mr. Bayer. If you think that was the right thing to do, you know, go you, man. I'm proud of you, I guess.
I just read
But the reality of the situation is you're letting people take away your freedom. You're letting people who have no business in your business taking away your voice, which again, millions of people have died for.
But okay. Well, first of all, I read Dan's one of Dan's chat messages. He says, "Yeah, that police officer's message was way too much. Dude sounds like he needs to get milked and have a drink," which made me laugh. But here's the thing, Victoria. Let's play a hypothetical. What if he didn't take it down? What if the picture stayed up? You know what would happen? The people offended by the flag.
Like Mr. Bayer doesn't really care.
No, the people offended by the flag would do the same thing that this retiree police officer would have done. They're going to go to the leadership of the city and try to get him fired because he has the flag up. So what's he supposed to do? Do you see what I'm saying? It would have went both ways. Let's be real. If he kept that flag up, his students would have been like, "All right, this principal obviously doesn't care for Black Lives Matter. And he should be fired because he doesn't support."
But like, we got to stop with that. But it has to stop.
But that's what would have happened.
Unless you go to charter, unless you're in that environment, you don't know. Okay, you really don't. Like, I remember I did my first 2 years of schooling at the school right across the street from my house, and the overflow was so disgusting. That's when my parents decided they were going to put me in a charter school. And I'll never forget this because the older I got, you know, it was brought to my attention. Victoria, you know, not in a bad way, but, you know, you used to not know any Black people. But I will tell you, Victoria, as soon as you got to that charter school, half the kids in that class were Black. All your friends are Black. What's up? So, you know, where I am, how I grew up, what I grew up around, what I experienced Mr. Bayer doing, okay, both as a student and an alumni, is this was the most fucking ridiculous thing that I could have ever heard of Mr. Bayer doing. Okay, like, I have watched that man pick people up off the ground. I have watched that man cut ribbons on brand new parks that because of the charter school they were able to open. I've seen Mr. Bayer open the pathway for thousands of people, thousands of students who in any other given situation may not have applied anything. Okay, who cares about this stupid picture? Really, truly. Like, I used to make some really cruel jokes, okay, but that doesn't mean I'm a cruel person. What matters is my character and how I treat people.
No,
my
I get that.
opinion on who's a better presidential candidate or who's a better person does not matter. What matters is my character. Okay, and that's why that police officer is so upset. Mr. Bayer can privately feel how he wants to feel. Forget the police. I hate the police. That's Mr. Bayer's God-given right as an American citizen. His job of standing there to just take a picture, leave him alone. Nobody bothered Lady Gaga about her fully made of meat dress. Leave Mr. Bayer alone.
I don't think, but that's why I think where I differ is I don't think Principal Bayer, again, if he knew the flag was against Black Lives Matter, if that's the case, if he knew that and he posed in front of that picture, full well knowing that was the case, he would not. I don't know if he would have taken it down. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it was brought to his attention that it is a symbol that is, at the moment, as far as I know, and I was hoping that someone in the chat would find it, but that's okay. I'll find it. I don't want to do it on the air, but at the moment, that flag is not looked at as a very positive flag right? Or as a flag that supports Black lives. So as he learned that, he said, okay, this is obviously something that is offending somebody. I will take it down, right? Now, I think the retired police officer, and I don't think it has anything to do with Miss Principal Bayer giving up his rights to have the picture. I don't. I think he willingly took that picture down. It wasn't like they complained and he said, oh, I better take this down before it gets worse. I don't think that's what happened. I think that he learned about, I don't know the guy, but based off what you're telling me he's such an upstanding citizen, he has good character. His character said to him, hey, this flag is offending people. You should probably take it down. That's his character. His good character is what told him to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? Not because people complained about it, per se. I mean, yeah, like once I think his personality is that of someone based off, you're telling me he has great character, a person with good character. If something was offending someone else, in my opinion, someone with good character would remove it. If I had a T-shirt that someone brought up a T-shirt, if I had a T-shirt of Kirby's my favorite character ever from video games. But if Kirby was offensive in 10 years because Kirby is associated with something that is socially not okay, and then I learned that Kirby is now offensive to something, right? Or it's now offensive to people, I would not wear Kirby shirts anymore because I don't want to offend people, because that's what my character tells me to do. My heart is telling me I don't want to hurt people's feelings, and I will take it down because it's not something I want to do. I think that's what's going through Principal Bayer's head, and that's why I feel bad for him. Do you see what I'm saying? It's his character that drove him to do it.
I understand that.
What I think is out of line, is that that it doesn't even matter what side it's on. In this case, it is the retired police officer who is calling out for his resignation because he followed his good character. Do you see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This police officer
Absolutely,
is
because
that.
You gotta understand, Jesse. There's some people who don't think that was good character. I don't think that was good character. Because again, if Mr. Bayer really felt that way, we would not have been exposed to the diverse population of kids that we were exposed to.
If he really felt which way?
If Mr. Bayer really felt, forget the Black Lives Matter movement, the diversity would not be there in the school. Jesse, it's a lottery system, okay? You have to fill out an application and you have to go through the lottery to get into that school. It's not like Mr. Bayer or UCF where they're just like 1, 2, 3, 4, boom. Let's pick somebody.
I understand that. I'm just saying.
Mr. Bayer, it's good character on one person's side that he took it down, and on someone's side that's not good character. On somebody else's side, had he kept the picture up, they would have said, you know what, good for you, Peter. Good that you're standing your ground, because just because you support the police does not mean you don't support the Black Lives Matter movement. And that's where you're at, and that's where you started in the beginning of this episode. I'm sort of on the fence.
This goes back to what does the flag actually represent? I'm getting told in the chat that it represents specifically to counter Black Lives Matter. If that's the case,
now there's people that are saying the American flag does not represent freedom anymore. They're pretty much saying the American flag represents a lot of slavery and a lot of murder and a lot of bad things that the United States has done.
Okay, but
so are we going to just get a new American flag while we're at it?
But I'm just saying, currently, okay, again, if Principal Bayer knew this flag before we take this picture several years ago, if he said that. Or if he knew several years ago that this flag was specifically designed to counter his own student demographic, he would not have taken a picture with it. That's all I'm saying.
He would not have allowed it on campus. Let's be intelligent.
Okay, then. So that's what I'm saying.
We're grown-ups here.
Because of time and because of how things have shifted and how we're now exposure's happening, the flags, whether its original intent was that, or do you see what I'm saying? It has nothing to do with him.
I get it.
I think
but it has
character,
nothing to do with then. It has nothing to do with back then.
But it does.
The truth is, the police brutality thing has been going on for years. Police officers have been profiling white and black and Asian and orange and brown and purple and blue people for years. That has been going on for years. The Canterbury Tales exposed all the nastiness that was happening in the church, the priests that were raping little boys, and the behind the scenes work behind the church. Okay, the Canterbury Tales is like one of the oldest books ever written, but we still go to church. There's still a huge demographic of people that really believe in the power of Christ. I'm really sorry that this day and age, we can't tell apart racists from people who really care about their job and the safety of the community. But because of what he did 3 years ago, regardless of what it means today, should not be implicating and bothering and inconveniencing his life today.
No,
It'd be
a
different.
thousand
It'd be
percent.
different if he took that picture, and fully knowing that.
That's
For
what I'm
sure.
saying. That's
I
all
would
I'm
be like, Mr.
saying.
Barry, what's your problem?
But
Mr. Barry doesn't have a problem. Everybody else has a problem.
no, I'm agreeing with that. That what you just said, I agree 1,000%. Him taking that picture, and regardless of what it meant at the time, no, that's not true. Regardless of him knowing what it meant at the time, that's the key. If he didn't know, it's a mistake. He didn't mean it, and I lean back on your description of how great of a principal this guy is. If he didn't know, it's one thing. If he did know and he just stuck to his guns, he knew that this flag was not supportive of BL. Like if that's what the flag represents, it's different. If he fully well knew that this flag is against BLM, if that was the case, and he took that picture anyway because he was sticking to his guns, then yeah, he's gonna get the flack for it. And people are going to get offended and call him out for his job. Just like the police officer this week, recently, for him doing the opposite. Do you see what I'm saying? And the police officer is going after his job, right now. So it's like you said, yeah, the cancel, I don't want to say cancel culture, but like the whole idea of jumping and just assuming like, this guy supports this, so he needs to be fired or whatever. Yeah, okay, that probably shouldn't happen. But his good character, I think, told him to take down that picture because he cares about his students, which is, according to you, who directly was involved with that school. You're a part of that demographic. You got to see that demographic. You said he took the worst kids and brought them in and turned them into outstanding citizens, right? Like, he did this out of care, out of character, to take that flag down. Not because he felt pressured by his students. I think it's because he thought, like, oh, wow, the students are telling me what this flag means. I don't support what this flag means. I'm going to take it down. And I'm going to apologize, the picture anyway, I'm going to apologize for even having it up without knowing what it means. And that's okay. Okay? That's why, again, he's in between a rock and a hard place. He took the flag down because he didn't know what it means. Should he get him having it up knowingly, if he knew what it means, if he knew that flag represented this, that, and the other, and the students knew that he knew that, and they were saying take it down because, you know what I'm saying? That's and Pablo's exactly what Pablo just said just now. Honestly, dude, sounds like it was at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's exactly what I think is happening right now. I do think people are wrong for calling him to call him to resign because he took the flag down. I do think that's wrong. I mean, that's just my opinion. I think that is wrong that the retired police guy is trying to get him fired for taking down the flag. Because just because he takes down the flag, that doesn't mean he doesn't support police officers who are good people. It doesn't mean that. You can support police.
It doesn't mean it, but it's really just to say in the future, if something bothers somebody that you are a part of or that you feel a way about, are we going to continue to bend over to make everybody feel happy? Because at that point, that's not democracy anymore. You're now forcing me to feel a certain way because of how it makes you feel.
But it's not forcing him. He chose to take the flag down. He didn't have to, or the picture.
He chose to take it down because people started telling him it was the wrong thing. Even though there's still an audience of people that say, Mr. Bear, that picture is not the wrong thing.
Okay.
So
So
what
let
are
me
what are we
counter
to
with
the
this. I'll go
future?
back.
How in the future? How are we going to better tackle these situations?
Yeah, but that's
You
like
know, I'm
saying
sorry that you feel that way. I should get more education, and I'll consider taking it down.
if there's a hypothetical situation of this, okay, what if not Principal Bear? I'm not speaking for him. Okay, this is just a hypothetical. What if it was a different kind of flag, different organization? Okay, you have what if he had a flag that I don't know what if there would be a KKK flag or whatever. Okay, I mean obviously I'm going extreme here, but it's like it's the same principle, right? He hangs something that's KKK associated, and the KKK are not good people. Okay,
Okay.
but he's a good guy and he's a really nice principal and he has great character and he's brought a lot of students in and did everything that he's done, but now it's a KKK flag, right? There are people who support the KKK living here right now, white supremacists,
Yeah.
right? Would you say the same thing?
Why does that make Mr. Bayer a bad person? You know, we don't discriminate because of your race, religion, sexual orientation, preference of whatever. You know, we keep saying that doesn't matter, but you know, we just continue to harp on it when it's convenient to us. Like you can feel however you want to feel. That's completely fine. It's Mr. Bayer's job to be there for it. It's literally Mr. Bayer's job to be in all of these photos. Like, you know, deep down inside, Mr. Bayer may really quietly support the Black Lives Matter movement. Deep down,
I
he
think he
may
does.
actually feel that way, defund the police. But his opinion does not matter. It's just his job to stand with these kids in that picture. It's almost to say, what if Mr. Bayer was standing next to an LGBTQ flag and then somebody came out saying, I can't believe you support those fairies? And what is Mr. Bear a bad person for standing in that picture? Does Mr. Bear take that picture down? Is it controversial? What do you do with that? So this brings me to what I've been saying. In the future, what are you supposed to do? Are we supposed to just continue bending over for these people to continue to make everybody feel better? You know, this reminds me of that episode of South Park. Everybody get in your safe space. Everybody, because we got to make everybody feel good about themselves. What are we supposed to do in the future about this?
So I'm gonna agree with Mike in the chat. It's our duty to constantly educate ourselves because knowledge changes things, right? If we want peace, if we want everyone to be happy, we need to work towards making everyone happy, right? Making decisions and choices that make everyone happy. Will that always work with everyone? No, of course not, because they're
No.
like you said, or like this situation. There's going to be people who support one idea and don't support the other. And when someone brings out a countered idea and disagrees with it, but you know, one person goes one way and one person goes the other, you know, there's going to be clashing, and that's always going to happen. Okay, but I do think there is a threshold. I do think there is a right time and a right place. And right now, just as Pablo mentioned earlier, it's just for him, it was wrong time in the wrong place. I will do my homework over this week, and I will look up the origins of the quote unquote blue lives matter flag to really see where did it come from, who did start that, and why was it created. I will do my homework, and I promise I will get back to that next week, because that matters. And to be a principal, a leader, someone for kids to look up to, and regardless of his position, having good character and being up on that pedestal of a school mentor. Okay, if I sent my kid to that school, I don't know if I would want my kid's mentor to be a white supremacist, because that means with that I'm just using that as an example, of course.
I know.
Because that white supremacist leader or role model, whether he knows it or not, it's going to reflect on the students, and it's going to rub off on them in some way, form, or fashion, right?
Absolutely.
And that person's decision making will be influenced by that idea, right? So yeah, like in my opinion, if you are a leader, okay, you should be more so neutral, right? More so a leader in terms of values versus a side, right? Again, I think this guy was in the wrong time at the wrong place. I think the photos resurfaced because of what's happening today. I mean, they posted a year ago and now he's under fire. I feel as though if that picture was taken several years ago and no one was getting at him because of it at the time, that does say something about the meaning of that flag and how it's changed over the years. You see what I'm saying? Like, why wasn't...
Absolutely.
Okay, and I'm not trying to go into it because we're already in an hour, which is great. But if that flag at that time when that picture was taken was offensive, okay, and it was highly offensive, because I'm sure it might have been offensive back then, but now it's exposed and highly offensive. If it was at the time, shouldn't he have been under fire at the time, right? And I think that's where my point comes in of timing is everything. The exposure and the spotlight on Black Lives Matter and the police brutality at this moment is negatively impacting the picture that was reposted. Concurrently, or on the opposite side of that, now that he's taken it down from what I think is his good character, because he cares about how the students feel, his students that he mentors, because he took it down. Now we have retired sheriffs or police officers aggressively asking for his resignation. And that's where I think he is more wrong about. I think the cop is more in the wrong than he is. Again, should he have to take the flag down because of pressure? Technically, no. He shouldn't have to take it down because of pressure. But I think because of his students and because he didn't want to offend anybody, he did. And that's in my opinion, that is admirable. The fact that he did take it down because of how people might have felt or might have been offended. Just as if, though, if someone had, if Pablo put up a red swastika in the living room, I'd probably be like, you know, man, I don't know if I'm feeling that right now. And I think Pablo, out of the kindness of his heart, would say, all right, dog, I'll take it down. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's admirable. I feel like that would be the right thing to do. Do you see what I'm saying? So
listen, I get it.
Now, am I agreeing with you with that? The people are freaking animals right now, and they'll just go as hard as they can on somebody over small. I'm not saying this was in this center project. It was a small thing, but it's not a huge thing. It's not like you see what I'm saying? It's like, yes, people are animals right now in terms of attacking someone for what they have taken a picture with. James Gunn, the director who did Guardians of the Galaxy. James Gunn. I'm having a brain fart. I'm sorry. He had a Twitter post resurface because he said something quote unquote inappropriate, and he got fired from Disney because that quote from years ago resurfaced, like 10 years ago or something like that, resurfaced. And he got fired. He was rehired, thank God, because everyone was like, "How can Disney fire him?" But do you see what I'm saying? Like, Disney was so fast to like take him out because they were like, "Oh, he said this, and you know that's offensive," and like you know what I'm saying?
Just to make everybody happy before anybody says anything to us. Bye.
Right. So people are attacking each other left and right in that regard. I think, in my opinion, I think the principal did the right thing. I think he did the thing that he wanted to do. I honestly thought he did. I don't think he would have kept that picture up, or he would have posted it in the first place if he knew about the meaning behind that flag. I don't think he would have posted that picture in the first place. If he has that character, that loving and sensitive and that empathetic character, if he had that, I don't think he would have put it up in the first place had he known about it. But he wasn't aware.
Listen, and I agree with that. I think if Mr. Bayer, based off of my experiences with him, if Mr. Bayer knew what Blue Lives Matter meant prior to that picture being taken, he wouldn't welcome them on the campus, along with if any other organization that he welcomes on that campus had any type of a demeaning or racial profile,
Mm-hmm.
he wouldn't allow it on campus, because again, that's just the man that I grew up knowing.
Right.
I knew a man that was beyond flexible, beyond willing, and just the nicest and sweetest man out there to
Mhm.
take care of a bunch of misfits in the most troubling time of their lives. You know, Mr. Bear, I support you fully. I fully support what you did. Thank you. If that is what's making the community feel better for taking the picture down, I support you no matter what, sir. You have my respect. You've got my word. You've got my backing. And you are a amazing human being. And I really deeply encourage anybody from Pembroke Pines Charter High School from 2000 even through 2020, like,
Sorry.
please reach out to Mr. Bayer, reach out to the city of Pembroke Pines, share them your stories with him, your experiences, and let them know like how much he's impacted your life. Yes, he may or may not have made a mistake, but his legacy should not be tarnished because of it.
I agree. I don't think it will be. I think because of his actions, because of what he did, because he learned something, I don't think his legacy or his name is going to be tarnished. I don't believe the police department should think that of him because he removed the flag. If anything, that's a lack of empathy from them, right? And I understand it's a flag that supports them, but like if the flag that supports you is not being looked at by everybody in a positive light, then maybe that's something that the department itself should think about, you know?
Absolutely.
So there you go, and I think that's the bottom line here. This was a good topic. I really enjoyed this. It was a very interesting. I'm glad you had, personal experience with it. It was an interesting topic. But yeah, let's get out of here. I'm ready to eat dinner. I'm hungry.
Oh, you and me both, man. You and me both. You guys, thank you so much for tuning in every week like you always do. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You can find us, again, every Thursday on youtube.com. You're going to want to search us up for right now, IceT and the Hippogriff, every Thursday at 7 p.m. You can catch our recordings posted on anchor.fm every Tuesday, Spotify, Apple Music, Google Play, and many more platforms, guys. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Find us all over the place. You can find me on Instagram at Do the Hippogriff, Facebook at Victoria Sorrentino, and Twitter at Be a Hippogriff. Jesse, where can our good friends find you?
Heck yeah. As usual, you can find me at IceT Kirby on pretty much all social media platforms. I stream on Twitch every now and then at twitch.tv/IceT Kirby. And of course, you can find me on Instagram and all that, Twitter and all that, at IceT Kirby, even on Facebook. Please be sure that we are now on YouTube, and I think this is where we're going to stay for a long time. Our YouTube channel link can be found on our Facebook page. It can be found, I'm going to put it on the Instagram as well. Right now, we don't have a URL. We don't have like a youtube.com/IceT and the Hippogriff because we don't have enough subscribers. So please, if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. We're going to obviously put out content weekly. Maybe we'll have a few bonuses here and there extra during the week as well. Maybe some cuts or some bloopers or something going on. But yeah, we're doing it. With that being said, I think it's time for dinner. Oh, do you have a quote of the day or no? If not, I mean, who cares?
Quote of the day, guys. Be the change you want to see in the world.
There you go. That's easy. Mike, I'm going to throw one in there. One of my favorite quotes. I don't even think it's from this movie. I just think the movie used it. Sucker Punch. The old man who's like teaching Baby Doll how to fight and all that, and her. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. And he says, "If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything." Right? Kind of relates to this topic, right? All right, guys.
That. Thank you.
We will see you guys next week. Don't forget to tune in on Tuesday to hear the recording, and we will see you all next time. Bye-bye. Clear.
What up, friend? What are you eating for dinner?
I think I have some Asian stuff in my freezer that I'm just gonna cook on a stove.
Ooh, that
I really
sounds
want to eat healthy, but I can do edamame. I have edamame in the freezer. That's healthy. Oh yeah.
Healthy, yes.
You can do edamame. Edamame sounds good. That's what I'll do.
You can eat whatever you want, Jesse. Just make sure you go for a nice long walk after.
I'm gonna do edamame. What episode are we on? We're on 19. Wow.
Look at us go.
Yeah, that was a full hour episode. So we didn't do a break. So we're just gonna have one episode, one long stream.
I like it. I like it. The fluidity. It was a really good conversation. I want to
check. I haven't checked the dashboard in a while here. While everyone's here hanging out in the chat. Hey guys, if you're still hanging out in the chat, I'm just gonna go through some of the Anchor stats here. Not too much more from last week, which is fine. Not a big deal. We have 264 plays of our show. We have about 12 people listening at a time. Let's see the episodes. The highest listened to episode so far is still Ashley's episode. It's not what you look at. Followed by our dating episode. We have people from Ireland. 6% of our audience is from Ireland. Please, if you're from Ireland out there, please reach out. Like, seriously. United
We're not
Kingdom.
recording, so they don't hear us.
Yeah, I know. I'll say that next time. We have 2% for the United Kingdom from the UK. We have a little bit under 1% from Germany and Belgium. And then 90% of us are from here in the United States. We're about 50-50 in our gender demographic. So half girls, half boys listen to us every week. That's pretty cool.
I like it.
Ashley, you're late. Where have you been?
Yeah, girl. We've been having a lot of fun.
We just finished.
I've been cussing on purpose just so I can see where you're at.
Oh, my gosh. Ashley, we needed you to moderate the chat, even though the chat was perfectly fine today. No one was causing problems.
Where were you, girl?
Chat.
Where were you?
Yeah, what's up? Yeah, girl.
You're probably sleeping.
No. I just haven't said anything. I was watching the. Oh, okay, all right. If
she
that's
lies.
Okay, if you say so, Ashley. Dan, I'm gonna make Dan. Let's say I'll make Dan, Pablo, and Mike. I'm gonna make them mods because they're my friends and I love them. So let me do that. I'm gonna do that. So Dan, you are now mod. Dan's here enough. I think he deserves mod. He's here enough. Pablo's gonna start tuning in more because he's my roommate and he lives across the hallway from me. Victoria, you need to be a mod.
To not be here.
Victoria, you need to be a mod because you're literally the co-host, so you should be a mod for sure.
I should.
Anne might be a mod soon because she's here every time. Thank you, Anne, for being here every time. You should be like, I wish I can give you like a sticker or something for consistency or something. But hey, I'm Pablo, he says.
Hey, I'm Pablo. Want to develop an app? Absolutely.
Want to develop. That's what Mike says. He says he wants to develop an app. I don't know how to do that shit, so I don't know if I'm ready to develop an app. It sounds hard. Sounds like a hard thing to do.
Then you're gonna watch a YouTube video about it and find out that it's like one of the easiest things ever.
Is it really? I don't think so. There's a lot of coding involved. Yay, Ann with the sub. Thank you, Ann, for subbing to us. I have to get alerts for subs. That's a thing now. Since we're on YouTube, I have to start up getting the alerts for subs, and I'm not sure how to do that on YouTube just yet.
Just check back every day, twice a day.
I have to figure out.
Oh, hello, Mr. Harrington. Nice to see you.
Oh, now my dad's here. He's late, too. Uh-oh. I think I X'd out on the chat on accident. Oops. No. I have to open up the chat again. Dad, you're late, too, my dude. We already, what am I, chopped liver? You're not chopped liver. You're fine, Dad. You're fine. I don't know if you know how to mod. Okay, that's kind of hard to do. That involves watching what people say and making sure they don't insult anyone, and then we have to ban them if they do. Because that's what mods do.
We're the glorified hall monitors of this show, so while we're talking and telling you cool stuff, we can just kick you out.
Yeah, I do hope for the principal. I really hope he doesn't get his job taken away just because the police officers now are asking for his resignation for taking down a flag. Like, come on. Like, imagine if I was a principal, right? And I know this is an extremely bad analogy, but I'll just say it anyway. Like, if I had my UCF flag on my wall behind me, if that was up and then I was the principal of a school and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take down the UCF flag because it's maybe offensive to the USF students at USF. And I'm a professor at a USF school or something, and then they're like, oh, UCF's going to fire, you should be fired because you don't support UCF anymore. It's like, it's not about, I don't know. Anyway, I just,
We'll see what happens. I will hopefully be checking in with the school soon, and we'll see what's up. I don't think he'll get fired, but if he does, it is what it is, I guess.
I mean, it's not. I don't think it is what it is. I mean, 13,000. I didn't bring it up in the frickin' conversation. That's fine because we talked a lot. But his petition to keep him prevent his termination is at 13,000 out of 15,000. So I mean,
Good.
people are signing this thing like crazy. So a lot of 13,000 of his students and people around him support him. You know what I mean? So it's not him. It's whatever.
Nope.
But anyway,
some people's getting upset. But anyways, it is what it is. I support him. I love him, and I'm gonna go eat dinner now.
yeah, same. All right, guys, I'm gonna end the chat here. I'll end the stream here. My roommate's my roommate, so I'll just say hi to him as soon as I walk out of my room. And
I love you
everyone
all.
else, thank you for coming. Please show up next week on Thursday at 7 o'clock on YouTube, here on YouTube. And of course, the
listen,
episode,
subscribe, share.
Yeah, the YouTube channel will be, or the recording will be up on Tuesday next week of this episode. And yes, please subscribe. We need those subscriptions. That way we can get an actual YouTube URL once we get enough. But we need to have enough. I think we need like 200 subscribers or something like that. So
I think Ashley was saying you needed like 2,000 subscribers or 4,000 subscribers.
Even better. Okay, well, we have a lot of work to do. So, I mean,
Ireland, next week when we start, we're gonna have a meeting here, friend. Go eat your dinner. We'll have a meeting this week, okay?
Yeah, for sure. All righty, guys.
Alrighty,
Peace out,
sir.
everybody. Have a nice night.
Good night. I love you all.